watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10 with your award-winning news team. John Huddleston, weather with Richard Scott, and sports with Gary Harris.
Good evening. They went to Oklahoma City as one of the best, and they came back the best. The Alabama softball team won the program's first national championship last night, and when it was all over, the Tide and the Bama Nation wasted no time celebrating.
Wears a crown of crimson.
And with that, the Alabama softball team accomplished a long-time goal. For a program that had won numerous SEC regular season and tournament titles, this was the only thing lacking.
The postseason, obviously, we won 4 tournaments in a row, and then we come here, and this was like the last thing that we had not conquered, and they did it.
The celebration began in Oklahoma City almost immediately. The team piled on, and coaches embraced. Back in Tuscaloosa, the party started the moment pitcher Jackie Trina struck out the last batter. Many of the fans had waited throughout the rain delays to see Bama battle back to win it all.
I really was scared, but at the same time, I had hope that we were going to pull it out.
It's awesome. It brings so much hope to Tuscaloosa. It's just great.
The trophy was raised in OKC, and less than 24 hours later, it and the team was back in Tuscaloosa. A loyal fan base greeting a team that they adore.
Awesome, the first team in the SEC to bring it home. Words can't, it's cliche, but words can't describe it.
And from the rain delay that sparked Bama's rally to Trina's final out that gave the Tide the championship, there were so many memorable moments for the Tide fans. WVUA's Courtney Highfield with that story.
For the members of UA's softball team, it isn't the trophy that defines them as national champions. It's their character. And it was the pivotal moments in Wednesday night's game where we saw their true colors shine, starting with the rain delay during the 4th inning.
And the Oklahoma defense is being pulled in off of the field.
At first, I was really nervous.
Hannah Stevens, longtime Alabama fan, was like many during the 4th inning.
At first, I was really upset because I was like, Kalani should have had to pitch, and Jackie pitched in the rain, and but when they obviously called it, and we were watching it, and the players come out on the field, and we're cheering with the fans, I think that really turned the momentum on our side.
Stevens was right. The rain delay worked in Bama's favor.
We thrive when adversity strikes, and just at that time, at that moment, the rain delay came, and that was our time.
The team just was very resilient. We were down 3-0. Could have folded our tents. We had a rain delay. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and we came back from all of it.
Shortly after the game resumed, the Tide was up 4-3 over the Oklahoma Sooners.
Courtney Conley and Amanda Locke both had clutch hits that sent some players in to score. I think that those are two momentum that also helped us win the game.
To end the game that was delayed almost 3 hours by rain, Jackie Trina struck out her counterpart Kalani Ricketts, and the Tide softball team won their first ever national championship.
They've been going head-to-head all week, building towards this moment, and Trina gets the strikeout of Ricketts to win it.
Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Courtney Highfield, WVUA News.
And you may have noticed the team wearing these shirts after the game and today when they got off the plane. They are the official softball national championship T-shirts. Several stores in Tuscaloosa are ordering them. The earliest you can buy one is tomorrow at Bama Fever inside University Mall, but they will only have 24, so time will be of essence.
Yeah, they'll go quick, so if you want them, you should come early and maybe just chill out in the store and wait till they get here.
Other stores like Alabama Express say they plan to have the shirts in next week. And the Alabama Softball Championship is just the icing on the cake for a historic year for women's athletics at the capstone. But former athletes and longtime local sports writers say it's been a long road to the top for some of these programs. WVUA's Travis Leader reports.
First team that went to the World Series the first time. I remember the description at the championship there in Oklahoma City, and they described dodging ant beds.
The building was not here. Any of this practice area wasn't here.
I was the first class that competed in Coleman Coliseum, but we had a big black curtain over half the seats.
Those who have followed women's athletics at the capstone say the critical moment which sparked this recent success happened nearly 4 decades ago.
Here we sit a few weeks away from the 40th anniversary of Title IX, which codified into law equal opportunity in education for men and women, and which extended to athletics for scholarship opportunities.
And some coaches say it's important to remind their contemporaries what Title IX did for women's sports.
They don't know that part of sport, and not that they necessarily, should have to know it, but it's a good reminder for them to know the history of what was done to get them to where they're at now.
And some say future generations will build on the present success.
The more media exposure that those sports get, then the more that young girls want to participate.
Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Travis Leader, WVUA News.
Rosenstiel says she appreciates the athletics department's commitment to all sports, men's and women's, across the board. She also stresses the importance of the football program's success to help ensure the financial stability of the smaller athletic programs. Well, it was a rainy day for the Crimson Tide in Oklahoma City last night, but will we see any rain for our weekend? Let's get a first check on Alabama's home team forecast. Here's Richard Scott. Hey, Richard.
Hey, John, good Thursday evening to you. No rain out there tonight, but it is mild out on the town. 75 degrees in Tuscaloosa as well as Birmingham. Some of the warmer spots down in Marengo County, 77, Utah, in Greene County, 78, Reform, 77. Cooler spots to the north, Haleyville and Coleman at 66. No rain across the board tonight. You'll notice those high-level cirrus clouds moving in from the south. Some thunderstorms happening along the coast earlier this evening. Those are dying out for now. More storms do move in by the time we approach the weekend. But tomorrow for Friday, for the most part, we stay dry. Isolated afternoon storm is possible. Chance for rain tomorrow is only about 10% for our Friday. So most spots stay rain-free. 85 at lunch, 90 by 4 o'clock. A hot day, a hazy day, and a humid day. But what about the weekend forecast? How long is the rain going to stick around? Home team weather is straight ahead.
Murder charges are being filed against a man for the killings of 9-year-old twins and their 73-year-old caregiver. Lowndes County District Attorney Charlotte Tesmer says DeAndre Marquise Lee is facing 3 murder charges for allegedly killing Jordan and Taylor DeJarnett and their babysitter, Jack Mack Gardner. Investigators found the bodies of all 3 Tuesday on a dirt road near Haleyville. It's not clear if Lee knew any of the victims or their families. In other news tonight, a new book about former Alabama Governor George Wallace is hitting the bookshelves, and who better to write it than his own son? George Wallace Jr. made a stop in Tuscaloosa to promote the book, George Wallace, The Man You Never Knew. Wallace Jr. took time to sign copies of the book and then made a speech about his father and the book's contents. He also discussed the emotions that came with writing it.
In many ways, it was a Shakespearean drama with joy and pain and winning and losing and suffering and reconciliation, redemption, and all the forgiveness, all those elements that make up our lives. But it took me down memory lane, and it was quite interesting to do it.
Wallace plans to continue his book tour around Alabama. Well, a person who volunteered her time at Kentuck is being remembered by her peers through art. Friends of Carolyn Fritz gathered tonight at Kentuck to dedicate a sculpture in her memory. Fritz passed away recently and was active in many nonprofit organizations, including helping children create artwork at Kentuck. Those involved say Fritz impacted almost everyone she came in contact with.
Just, over a 30-year association with her, involved in many of her other projects, I feel like she made me and a lot of other people better people.
The dedication was part of June Art Night. The exhibits that were unveiled will continue through June 28th. New at 10 tonight, Alabama now has a law limiting protest at funerals. Governor Robert Bentley signed a bill on Wednesday mandating that demonstrators stay at least 1,000 feet away. That's the equivalent of about 2 blocks. The law is in response to disruptions by the Kansas-based Westboro Baptist Church, which travels the nation staging demonstrations at funerals for U.S. troops and others. Members claim God kills Americans because the nation tolerates homosexuality. Church members have protested at several funerals in Alabama.